Hello, and welcome to Speak of the Devils. I'm Dan Nguyen.
And I'm Anthony Matos. We'll be your hosts for the evening.
We're happy to bring you a second edition of Speak of the Devils this year. 2 years ago, in the spring of 2020, just a week before we were set to film our second episode of the year, school shut down due to the COVID-19 pandemic.
Tonight we'll kick things off with a poem from BHS's Tenacity Challenge, followed by stories from Miss Eshelman's journalism class. Then we have a fake commercial produced by Nigel K. and a Mad Lib sketch presented by Dan Nguyen and featuring BCAT's own Chris Flaherty.
We'll also have a segment of 7 things I've only done once before with Miss Eshelman, an update on the Red Devil action with Anthony here, and finally, later in the evening, we'll be playing our own version of Worldle.
That's all coming up on this edition of Speak of the Devils.
Don't ask me where I'm from. For everyone, there's no wrong answer, but they are looking for the right one. Don't leave them questioning, because they'll answer that question for you.
Don't ask me where I'm from. I have been all corners of the earth, even those the golden eye can't see. Which of the million places should I choose? They are asking where I belong, but every part of me belongs somewhere. There should be no limit to where I'm from, but only the people who get to know.
Don't ask me where I'm from. There's an infinity of possibility. But in a snap, I forget where I'm from.
Don't ask me where I'm from.
Where should I be from?
Should I be the girl from Boston?
Should I fit in with the stereotypes you create for me?
How well-rounded do you expect me to be?
Provided with the privilege of a better future.
The privilege itself being limited.
I'm still conflicted.
Please give me a break.
Don't ask me where I'm from.
Clouded sun. Do you see salvation, son, or is your sun clouded? Mom, can I have the new Jordans? Christian, in your envy, do you see salvation? Father, can I go out with my friends? Christian, in your lustfulness, do you see salvation? Jenda Oshome, go read your science, your math, or your English books again and again, Mom says, or you won't see salvation. Salvation, this salvation that, Dad, I want to see my own light. I want to go out with my friends. I want to dress nice. I want to read on my own time, not all the time. Christian, in your selfishness, do you see yourself reaching salvation? No? Then see your own light through mine. Cut the noise, the pressures of the world, and be better than I am. Don't go out, read instead. Don't waste money, save instead, and be better, then you will reach salvation. Ayo, Christian, let's go to the party. And I say, sorry, I can't, I have plans. But deep down, my parents' voices echo in my ear. Ugh, is this the American dream? This salvation my parents crave for? Is it my dream or their dream? Am I the communion bringing my parents closer to salvation with each bite? If so, is this worth living the American promise of the American dream? Do I have dreams? Outside of my parents' dreams, who am I? When am I not being my parents' capsule? Are my parents clouding my sun? How can I grow without the rays of light? Will I be the mustard seed that falls on the hard ground? Thank you.
Welcome back. You just saw this year's Tenacity Challenge. Well done to all involved. We're now joined by BHS TV's own Navia Garg and our Bedford High School correspondent, Matthew Cornelius Salazar, for our panel discussions.
Last month, after February break, Burlington Public Schools lifted its mask mandate. While many students and faculty have foregone masks, some still choose to continue wearing them. Outside of BHS, many public places and institutions have varying mask-wearing policies. How do we feel about the current state of the mask wearing in BHS and the larger community?
I think it's a good thing that they made it positive, and of course, different districts or different establishments can have different mandates
Policies.
or different rules. Yeah, different policies.
Sorry
Yes.
I did not know if you were going to get a word.
And I think that's fine. I think that's, it's up to them. But I think making it optional is decent idea. Like if people are not comfortable enough to take them off, that's perfectly okay.
I'm glad there hasn't been like a rise in cases because of it, or like not enough to like make them come back, because I think my biggest issue starting off was like we got rid of it the week after February break when like everyone was coming back from different places, and so I was expecting there to be like a huge spike in numbers and stuff because we took off the mask mandate, and it was right after vacation, but there wasn't one. So
yeah, so far it's been going pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with what all of you guys have said, but the one big issue I have with all of this is the fact that, you know, there's like a lot of universities still require masks and a lot of other places do. So, I mean, kind of how do you guys feel about like the fact that everything's so inconsistent and it's kind of hard to like because sometimes you like don't bring a mask because you're like, oh, I probably don't need a mask, and then sometimes that happens. So, I don't know. Any thoughts?
I do think that's annoying in that situation where like, oh, I just came from somewhere that didn't require a mask and now you require a mask. But I think it's a minor inconvenience at the worst.
I feel like everyone carries around masks anyway at this point. They're always in people's cars.
I ran out. It was sad when I had to get a mask. So yeah, but I don't know. I think it's overall been a good thing. So, but anyways, now that the end of the school year is approaching and seniors are looking to decide what they'll do after graduation, many will decide to attend college, but the question is where. While many students feel comfortable attending college closer to home, others wish to spread their wings and go to a college further away. Most of us here on the panel are seniors, with the exception of Matos, and are still deciding what to do. So, where do you guys stand on this topic?
I'm probably going to end up going in-state. I personally didn't mind staying in-state as long as I could still dorm. Like, I didn't want to live at home, but I didn't mind how close or far it was from home. Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's never been something like, oh, do I want to go really far away? I also had like other restrictions where I like couldn't really go out of the country for it and stuff. So never really considered like, oh, it has to be really far before.
For me personally, I'm most likely going to do in-state. That's just where I'm most comfortable with. But I think different people want to experience different things, and some people just really want to get out there and experience more than just this environment that they've always been in.
Yeah, I know. I personally myself was, I mean, if college didn't cost so much, I would have totally loved to go outside the state just because, you know, I'm probably going to live here when I grow up, so, or when I get older, so who knows. I kind of want to see somewhere else for a few years, not be stuck here, so I guess that's what the point of vacations are, but oh well. But like, also going far away or even to literally any other private school in Massachusetts has its costs associated with dorming and, you know, out-of-state tuition, private, so I don't know. I mean, I'm staying in-state just because of the fact that I can get in-state tuition, but Anthony, do you have any ideas what you're going to do?
I've got a couple of out-of-state colleges on my mind. I mean, I've been told that I have a really good shot if I keep my grades up, but, you know, you never know. The future always changes.
Yeah.
It's true.
So, all right, next up, we have a group project from Miss Eshelman's journalism class. This group focused on the arts at Burlington High School. BHS TV's own Veronica Chang also spoke to the group on their work for this project.
After just one walk in BHS, you'll come across one form of artwork or another. Many of these paintings, murals, and portraits are student-made, and all of them have stories behind them.
The biggest thing for teenagers is self-expression and having a safe place to create that and a good outlet to express who you are. It's probably the top one, I'd say, for your age group.
Ms. Chang, an art teacher at BHS, is one of the many educators behind the school's art program.
I always wanted to be an artist and knew that a great way to kind of balance my art career was to also teach, and I also just enjoyed teaching.
The art program at BHS is one of the many ways in which students are able to express themselves.
So there's a number of different projects. We have the glass case in there that features different student artwork. A lot of it's from our studio art class that Mr. Rakovich teaches. There's also some 3D pieces in there as well from our ceramics sculpture program. And then there's some large drawings that are up that are of charcoal pieces of small objects that then the students blew up, and they drew them very, very large. So those were done with Mr. Rakovich's class.
BHS is also home to the Cambridge Street Gallery, a display room near the cafeteria that hosts featured artworks.
The guest artists range in their type of work and their interest level and the content has varied. So we tried to have a really broad range of work in there, and then we try to have the artists also talk about their work and show their work and really educate the students about it.
The gallery has hosted many different artists, each with their own unique style. Anna Pearl, a senior at BHS, recently has had the opportunity to be featured in the gallery.
For this Lego one, I was just super inspired by how Lego tries to mimic real life things, like real things in nature even. Just the contrast between man-made and nature, especially with plastic, was just super interesting to me.
Make sure you stop by before the gallery closes in late February. You won't regret it.
I would say art is important to me because it's sometimes difficult to kind of explain what you're thinking or like showcase your ideas through words. For me, it's just easier to kind of paint something that like either captures a feeling or kind of symbolizes something.
BHS features CP, honors, and AP studio art classes, along with numerous clubs and extracurricular activities.
I've just been doing it for like ever. My mom has always called me such like a creative kid. Like I've been like drawing for like ever. My mom always thought I was like crazy because I used to never color in coloring books. I like hated having to like just color in someone else's things, so I would make my own and color in my own things. And then my mom could like never really like draw and stuff, so she would just like do the coloring book. She's like, oh, why don't you try it? And I'm like, no, like little like 5-year-old me just like never enjoyed it. So I always tried to like make my own stuff.
For many students, art class is the time of their school day where they get to take a break from the rigor of everyday classwork and have some fun during their busy schedules.
I think it's just like you get to learn like so much, like, and it's such an enjoyable class. Like it's so like peaceful and easy. You just like listen to music and you like do a project like the whole class. And
It's important to feature student artists and their journeys through their career and highlight the talented individuals in the BHS community.
it has improved like just overall knowledge of like art so much. Like I never really took a like art class that wasn't like an elementary school or like middle school like level art class. So now it's like I'm like learning so much more like technique and stuff that I didn't know before. That's just like improving my overall just like knowledge of it all.
Next time you come to Burlington High School, take some time to observe the various forms of art throughout the building, crafted by both former and current students.
I think it makes just like the school so much more like friendly. Like it adds like color and more like, and like there's like some like art pieces that are so just like impactful that like walking around and like seeing something like that, it's like cool to look at.
Okay, so tell me about, you guys did art at BHS, a broadcast, so tell me about it. What is it about?
So I was the one that came up with the topic idea, and I know that walking around BHS, there's a lot of artwork on the walls and things like that, student-made and classrooms and stuff, and I thought it would be a good idea to try to represent some of the stuff that students have made in the past couple of years. So we wanted to document just the process of art at BHS and what students have made, things like that.
Mm-hmm. And how did you like go about doing this broadcast?
We went to Mrs. Chang's room and we went around the school and took pictures of all different types of art.
Mm-hmm.
We also interviewed art students and Anna Pearl, who had her art displayed in the what's it called?
Yeah, it was Cambridge Street Gallery.
Cambridge Street Gallery. We talked to her about what the process was like, why art's important, and why it should be like represented and shown in school.
Mm-hmm. And like for you guys did a broadcast, so how was it like gathering the footage and like putting it together? Like was that hard or?
It actually wasn't. We just made it in iMovie, which is obviously like, not super complicated. But it was pretty simple. We tried to have a mix of pictures and videos of things around the school, and we tried to cut in interview footage with footage of art and things like that. And we tried to interview a diverse group of people so that the video is it's like a whole mix of everything basically.
Mm-hmm. So where is this broadcast? Just like in the classroom? Where are you guys showing it?
We showed it in the classroom, but I'm pretty sure it's on the the website, the BCAT website, and it's also on the news has a website, like the Devil's Advocate has a website through the school, and it's uploaded on there, I'm pretty sure, as well.
Okay. What would you say is like your favorite moment of this whole process?
Just walking around and capturing art in all different forms.
We had a lot of fun going
Yes.
around the school and taking
Yes.
pictures.
I liked interviewing the people because and like seeing what art means to them because I'm not a very artistic person, so it was cool to see like their point of view on art and how much it helps them get through school and like anxiety and like stuff like that.
So you interviewed Miss Chang and Anna Pearl?
Yes.
Yeah, and then my friend Ashley, who's like a couple years younger than Anna. So we had like a mix of all the ages at the school.
Okay, so 3 people?
Yeah.
Nice. How was it collecting like B-roll? Because I know you guys had to do that. How did you know like which to put and like which to capture?
Well, first off, we were carrying around like a big tripod one day. It's a little difficult.
Should tell her about the table.
We found like a table in the main office, and we didn't want like our footage to be like wobbly, so we just grabbed the table and just carried it around, placed it, put the iPhone on, and just
It was like a whole thing. When it came to choosing which to put in the video, we kind of just put in almost everything that we found. Like it was pretty much like everything. So it was all over the school. It wasn't too bad finding B-roll.
Yeah.
Did you guys do like voiceovers?
Yeah.
Yes.
We split the video into like 3 different topics, and then we each voiced like one section of the video.
What was the topics?
It was like Anna Pearl, right, and her, because she was put in that gallery. We talked about her. I think we talked about the AP classes, like art classes.
Yeah, and like why you should take art.
Yeah, and like that we had like a conclusion section with like why and stuff like that.
And then the third one. Was there?
No, it was that. It was like why to take art class, what the art classes contain, and then Anna Pearl's stuff. It was like those 3 topics.
Right.
Yeah.
And then like in the whole video, kind of talked about why it's important art. But
So like, what was your main takeaway? Like, why do you think art is important from everyone?
I guess it's just another way to express yourself, and it's also another way to make the school more beautiful to walk around, since obviously, the school is very like brick walls and stuff like that, so it's nice to have some color in the school.
Basically what I was gonna say. Yeah, I think it's just a good way to have a break from school and like class for those kids. Obviously, I don't take art, but I think it would have been nice to just like be able to express yourself through that way.
Well, I would love to see it sometime. So, thank you.
So how do you guys feel about the presence of art at BHS?
I personally think that Burlington High School has like a really strong art program. I've been taking photography classes here since my freshman year. And photography is a really hard program to run at most schools because it's very expensive with the cameras and the printers and stuff. So is like advanced levels of painting or like AP art and design that I don't know if you've seen Anna's exhibit, but that's what she takes. So all of those classes are really hard to run because all the materials are really expensive for it. But Mr. Rakovich does a good job of making sure that like all the photography students, all the fashion students, all the AP art and design students who need art supplies that are normally very expensive get them without having to pay a lot for them. So I think Burlington personally has like a really strong art program.
Cool. Now, moving on to another senior-related topic, the Senior Project. The Senior Project is the capstone required project for all seniors in the English department. The Senior Project can take on many forms, including documentaries, art projects, works of literature, all focusing on a topic that the senior chooses themselves. While the English department believes that this develops important skills for students, many feel that the project causes unnecessary stress and do not feel that it is important. How do you guys feel about the Senior Project?
Well, for starters, do you have the Senior Project at your school?
In Bedford, we do not the English department does not require a senior project. When I first found out about it, I was taken aback a bit. I too don't see the point, and I think it would also cause me and like some of my other classmates who I know are not into that thing a lot of stress, and it just, I don't know, it doesn't seem
important.
Yeah.
I Personally, no. I mean, I think it's important just because of the fact that projects do come up in the real world, and it's always not going to be on things that you like, obviously, so it's going to be on whatever your job is. But so I think the senior project is kind of like a good way to blend that, because it gets like kind of exposes seniors to like what a project is, deadline, stuff like that, like things that they're going to need to do in the real world. But at least now, us as seniors, we get the choice of actually doing it on something we like. For example, I did it on something I like. I did it on planes. So I personally found it really interesting, and I don't know, I think it's useful.
Are you excited for the senior project next year?
I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Yeah.
Yeah, looking forward.
Yeah. What did you do yours on, Dan?
I just
on planes.
Come on, Anthony.
I bet he said he was doing it on a plane.
That would have been awesome.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
After we moved our clocks forward for daylight savings a few weeks ago, the U.S. government passed a bill that would eliminate this practice come next spring. Some people groan at the thought of waking up to darkness, while others enjoy the extra daylight at the end of the day. We've grown up changing our clocks every year. What are our opinions on this?
Good riddance. Not a fan.
I agree. I do not appreciate having to wake up
Elaborate,
every
Matthew.
single spring.
Elaborate,
Matthew.
He would. I would feel awful just not getting. I already don't get enough sleep, which partially my fault. But despite ignoring that,
at me when it was.
I didn't point at you. I gestured.
Okay, go on.
Despite that, I did not appreciate even less sleep than usual, and there's no point.
I don't know. I hate that they're changing it, but I don't think it's because of a sleep issue, because I think the sleep issue is only the first night, right? Because after that, you're still sleeping the same number of hours. It's not like the numbers of hours in the day go down.
Well, you get daylight at the end of the day, more of it at the end of the day compared to usual.
Yeah, and I kind of like that, and I'm upset that it's not going to change back and forth, I guess, because as soon as winter hits, we get close to daylight savings times, I always get excited that, hey, it's it's going to be light out more now, but we won't really have that because we won't see the difference if they just get rid of it.
Yeah, I think the only annoying thing is going to having to be to commute either in the morning when it's dark out. That's not going to be fun when it's 7 and still dark out. But I mean, besides that, I personally would rather have the extra daylight at the end of the day. The only thing is, the morning. And sometimes I depend on the sun to wake me up, which might be a problem.
I didn't think that you could just say no daylight savings time like that,
Well, the government
just
can.
No daylight savings.
You were like, how's that possible?
Yeah. You could
The
just
world doesn't work like that?
stop the Earth from doing whatever it
Moving.
does during
Oh.
daylight savings.
Yeah.
Well, the U.S. government
did
can.
it. Coming up next, we have another project from Miss Eshelman's journalism class. This group's project focused on the students' access to Wi-Fi at BHS. Right after the video, we'll go to Veronica Ching's discussion with a group on their experience on producing their video.
Burlington High School's administration and students have always been at odds over Wi-Fi for students. Students' phones, laptops, and iPads can all connect to the internet, one way or another. One of the main issues is that the term personal devices extends past a student's phone, but also to a personal computer they may own and intend to do schoolwork on.
I found myself going to Mr. Wong a lot this year, trying to get the Wi-Fi to work. It would disconnect sometimes, and I'd have to wait a few days for it to reconnect, which wasn't very helpful because I use my computer for everything. It's so much easier than my iPad. It's working a little better now, but at the beginning I had a really hard time getting connected.
However, this issue isn't solely affecting students. It also affects teachers.
Right. So yes, my phone's not on the personal device, and it is annoying if I can't get a message, or I know I can't maybe upload a picture or something like that. I do run into the same problems that students run into.
One of the main issues is the lack of cell reception in the school. Many students would not have an issue with no internet being provided by the school if the cell reception was consistently working.
I don't have any windows in my classroom, so I don't really have the option to hold it up. I've gone across the hall or into Mr. Witten's room to kind of hold my own phone up against the window, just hopefully maybe I can catch some just network, because I'm kind of cut off from a lot of the network, not just the Wi-Fi but the 5G as well. So I do have times where I leave school at the end of the day and get some messages that were delayed over the course of the day, but
I would say, the nature of cinder blocks, and especially having an internal room, I definitely don't see the benefits of having a lot of the ability to have my network.
Of course, with Wi-Fi and phones, there's cause for concern that it may cause distraction issues for students.
I definitely think, like I said, intent. I think intent-wise, what people are looking for is to be able to text more, or to be able to, bypass some of the, things on their school devices. Like they can't have certain apps on their iPad, but they want to be able to have those apps available to them, but they're blocked from their iPads for a reason. In order to kind of keep students with the academic-oriented focus with their devices. And so I do think, really, in terms of intent, people are looking for ways to insert distractions into their school life. So ultimately, not a great situation.
I think students might be a bit distracted on their phones, but I will also say that even if there's Wi-Fi in the building or not, the students will access social medias regardless.
Due to this lack of internet, students have got somewhat creative with their access to their internet.
I also know that there's usually somebody who knows a Wi-Fi password, whether or not, I don't know if they get it from working at like help desk, or if they just, are good guessers, or they're able to just figure it out. But I've seen the Wi-Fi passwords circling around, so somehow people get it, and I'm not super sure how, but I think the frustration comes out with, a Wi-Fi password comes out, everybody gets on it, and it brings attention to it, which causes administration or the IT support to take it down, that's when they're like, oh, my Wi-Fi. So I think that's probably the frustration there, but I think there's some sort of like Wi-Fi black market that goes around.
Because everyone tries to find the Wi-Fi and find the password anyways, and then like people's devices get shut down and they have to go through the whole process again. So I just think that if we just had personal Wi-Fi in the first place, we wouldn't have to deal with that. Plus, like, other schools have personal Wi-Fi, so it's kind of not fair. Even other schools have guest Wi-Fi that you can connect to.
Whether or not BHS will ever provide students and teachers with personal Wi-Fi is something we don't know. What is clear is that the groups would appreciate it.
I'm here with Neva, Cooper, and Matt. Why don't you guys say what grade you're in?
I'm Neva. I'm a senior.
I'm Cooper. I'm a junior. I'm Matt. I'm a sophomore.
Okay, great. So you guys did Wi-Fi access for student devices. Why did you guys choose this?
It's kind of a complaint that I hear from like a lot of students, just that there's never any Wi-Fi, never any service, so they can't really send out any messages. So like if they need to, for instance, like organize a ride with somebody home because they don't have one, they can't really do that because they just can't send a text or anything.
Communicating with parents is another big issue.
Mm-hmm.
Like my parents are always texting me throughout the day and I'm like, I can't respond to you right now.
I find that it can be a hindrance in even my place of work if I need to communicate with my boss or maybe in a state of emergency.
So you guys think like we need a guest Wi-Fi?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it'd be helpful.
So who did you guys interview for this?
We interviewed, I think, Miss Fischel,
Nicole Pellegrino,
and Julia Sousa.
So 3 people?
Yeah.
Yes.
What was like their responses to your questions?
Every single one of them wanted Wi-Fi. Even Miss Fischel as a teacher.
Miss Fischel wanted it. I think she was she wasn't sure how she felt about students having, because she thought that would make them a bit more distracted, which is understandable. But I think even for just herself, because the teachers don't get Wi-Fi either. Like they can't put their phones on the school Wi-Fi, so they themselves kind of want it. So.
How was like the process of collecting B-roll and like making this broadcast?
It was fun running around.
Yeah, you gotta run around, kind of just put a tripod down and just record people doing things, and then people start looking at the camera getting confused.
So what would you say like is your biggest takeaway from this whole experience?
It's a great way to get like a message out, because I know a lot of other groups were kind of covering like topics and we were covering more of an argument, so putting like our argumentative skills into like a video broadcast was really fun.
I agree. I think it was also kind of fun to just
take what you were learning in class and applying that knowledge into broadcasting. And it was definitely a challenge, but in the end, it was fun.
Yeah, it was very different than just normally writing an article, because with a video, you gotta like edit the video, and even just recording and like setting up the shots. There's just kind of like more creativity you can have with it.
Was it hard, like editing the video and putting it together?
It wasn't like, it wasn't, because I think I did the editing, right? Yeah. So
Okay.
it wasn't.
I was like, I did not edit that.
It wasn't that bad. I mean, it was. I did it all on my phone on iMovie, which obviously isn't the best way to
On
do
your
it.
phone?
Yeah, because we recorded all the videos on my phone because just the camera quality's better on it, and so I just edited it all on my phone. It worked out in the end. I think the hardest part was like syncing up voiceover and interviews just to get all the audio to line up, but otherwise it came out pretty clean. So
Did you use all the B-roll that you collected?
yes, and more. Yeah. I used everything I had. I didn't have enough. Like I had to reuse too much. So
We had
I mean,
to,
I
like,
guess
run and get more.
Yeah, note for next time would be get more.
But okay, well, thank you guys so much for your time.
Thank you.
Yes, no problem.
So, how do you guys feel about the state of Wi-Fi at the school? I know I personally would be okay with us not having Wi-Fi, but the cellular never works, so, you know.
They need more windows if they're not going to give us Wi-Fi.
I don't go here.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I've noticed in like the foreign language hall, the one that like connects to the library, there's like no cell service.
There's two foreign
It's
language
like,
halls that connect to the library.
The one with
Lower library or upper library? Which library?
the library with like the rolly chairs.
Yeah, the lower library.
The library.
Yeah, and it's like right next to my French classroom.
I took French too. Besides the point. But
Nice.
they thank you. They need to give us more windows to actually let like the cell service work. And if they can't do that, they need to set up a Wi-Fi to let us use it. Even they already block Instagram, they already block a lot of social media sites, a lot of sites that you have to be over 16 to use and stuff. So I feel like it wouldn't be terrible if they were able to set up some sort of system for us. They can still block those websites, but I'd like to be able to like text my parents if I'm like staying late or like coming back early or something like that.
Great discussion, everyone. Next, we're joined by journalism teacher Miss Eshelman for a round of 7 things I've never done before. Although this was a segment we did with her right before the pandemic canceled our March 2020 episode. So really, this is 7 things I've only done once before.
Then, after that, we'll have a fake commercial produced by Nigel Kernaretna with Rodrigo Penguino running against Matthew Conevulo Salazar in a presidential race for the history books. When we come back, we'll have a spring sports season preview with Anthony here.
Let's begin. The first thing, as you can see, I've got a delightful cornucopia of flowers, and I have 1 minute to make, I believe, a flower arrangement. I've got 2 little hoosies right here in which I can place the flowers. It's getting real right now. Okay, so I'm gonna take this one here, I'm gonna put it there, and then, oh no, it's only 8 minutes. Ooh, I think maybe a little pop of color. Ooh, this one has a nice little like cascade effect going on. So what you can see when it comes to flower arrangements, it's really important to have different heights. Oh, and not break anything at all. So we have to think about height and we also think about weight. So maybe let's not do this one at all. It's a little heavy. This one is far better, and I'm actually gonna place it in this wider, and I only got 20 minutes, so not 20 minutes, 20 seconds. If I had 20 minutes, oof, this would be a thing of beauty and a joy forever. Alas, that is not. But look at this, and see, what you can see in this particular arrangement is autumnal meets spring, which is very important to have. And that was a minute. I did it. Yay! Oh, I need to show them. This one is the first one. The theme of this one is height. And this one is the other one. I'm trying not to knock over the table. The theme of this is the beauty of the year. Anyway, so to set the scene, you have to imagine that these two are getting married. Imagine a big, old, church-like space and beautiful music and, you know. Marriage. Marriage is what brings us together today. Marriage, the blessed arrangement, the dream within the dream. That's all I got. Because after that, you know, you have to stand your ground because the guys are at the gate. It's a good movie. Princess Bride. Check it out. This is a very serious process, multiple steps here. First step, eyes. When I'm looking at this one, this is quite plain. I see some sprinklings of salt, but I don't see anything else. I'm thinking regular goldfish. No, I think I am. I think I got it. Now this one I'm noticing with my eyes here, right? I see seasoning. And it's like red seasoning, so I'm thinking, this one might be spicy. I don't know, it could be a little zip. Then next, oh, this one, I think this one's the pizza one. Yeah, pretty sure this one's the pizza one. This one's new, but I will say this one, when these were all brought before me, this was the one I smelled right away. Visually, it's like a totally different color. I smell like sugar, almost like a graham cracker intonation, I suppose you can say. So I'm gonna assume this one's the sweet dessert goldfish. Maybe like graham cracker sugar goldfish. Let me try. Very vanilla, very strong on the vanilla. Maybe that's the flavor I was smelling. Very strong on the vanilla. This next one is painting with toothpaste. Again, another thing that I have only done once. And I do not know if you can see super clearly. It has this really great 3D effect, as you can tell. As you can tell, this is clearly a fish leaping out of the water. Toothpaste. Toothpaste and Paper, Sarah Eshelman, 2022. The special challenge today, though, is I have, as you can see, 2 different kinds of things to juggle. And as any professional juggler can speak to this, this is extremely difficult to do. I'm gonna do a baby step. I'm gonna try not to lose this guy. Ah, perfect. So baby step 2. Ooh, look at that. Ta-da. Really, that was beautiful. I'm doing a great job. Yay me. Okay, I can do that perfectly. That was A+, no notes. Now I'm gonna try to do 3. I can do it. But I clearly should go into juggling professionally now. So we did sort of test this out. I believe, I think I hold this one and I do this. It's truly beautiful. Poetry. I am going to be making a hat out of newspapers. I think this is very appropriate as I am the journalism teacher at the high school. So actually what I've achieved here, I think I would call more as a newspaper bonnet. As we all know, in the past, women wore bonnets most of the time to shield themselves from the sun before sunscreen was invented. So, with that, my name is Sarah Eshelman, journalism and English teacher here at Burlington High School, and this was 7 things I've only done once. Have a good one.
Olvide $3.99 más gastos de envío y manipulación para el mix. Hola. Mi nombre es Rodrigo Pingüino. Recientemente, un candidato presidencial, a quien inicialmente apoyé, Mateo Cornébulo Salazar, decidió hacer algo atroz. Durante una entrevista que le di, hizo el acto impensable de abofetearme. No solo me lastimó la cara, también me lastimó el orgullo. No podía soportar este acto de blasfemia. Cuando tenía 13 años, estaba creciendo en el iceberg de mi familia cuando escuché que un hombrecito llamado Cornébulo, que era nuestro arrendador, cortó los fondos para el aire acondicionado del iceberg para poder pagar un helado triple de chocolate. Toda mi familia se ahogó, pero nadé hacia un lugar seguro, como el verdadero pingüino que soy. ¿Eres un hombre niño que ponga su dinero por encima de la vida de pingüinos inocentes? No lo creo. No creo. Creo que quieres un pingüino que ponga a su país y a su gente por encima de sí mismo. Incluso su propia esposa estuvo de acuerdo en que es un bebé y decidió dejar a ese niño por uno real. Solo mira su cara. Patético. Incluso me enfrenté cara a cara con ese cobarde en un debate profesional.
Candidate 1, what do you think about global warming?
I think people are making a big deal out of nothing. The data behind it is being blown out way out of proportion, and I think it's just overall fake.
Candidate 2, what are your opinions?
Creo que el calentamiento global es una epidemia que hemos ignorado durante demasiado tiempo y que debe abordarse. Tengo listo un plan de 5 días que solucionará este problema de forma permanente.
Candidate 1, how many languages do you speak?
I speak 2 fluently, English and Espanol.
Candidate 2, how many languages do you speak?
Eu говорю на многих языках. Como eu viajei pelo mundo.
在不同的文化中充实自己。
Alright, candidates, I have one last question for both of you. Which one of you can turn into a box the fastest? It looks like we have a winner, El Penguino. That is a perfect box, 10 out of 10. Look at it. Looks just like a box.
Si hay algo que quiero que se lleven de esto, es que Mateo Cornébulo Salazar es un infante incompetente que no sabe nada de presidencia y política. Espero que se dé cuenta de que soy mucho más apto para este puesto que él. Boca Penguino 2024 o Boca Perdedor. Soy Rodrigo Penguino y apruebo este mensaje.
Well, he certainly has my vote. Next, we turn it over to Anthony, who also hosts B News Sports here at BCAT for a preview of the spring sports season.
It's great to be back on Speak of the Devils. Thanks for having me, Dan.
No problem. Let's start off with lacrosse. What have the girls been up to this year?
Burlington has had a jam-packed roster with 9 seniors, 10 sophomores, and 2 freshmen. Right now, they're 0-2 to start the year with losses to Winchester and Reading.
Yep. Plenty of games left for them to compete in. How are the boys doing this year?
The boys are 1-1. They've won against Winchester in their first game and lost to Reading in their second.
It'll be good to see the excitement that they bring to the field this season. What have you seen at Marvin Field with the girls at softball and Francis Wyman for baseball?
The girls are currently 2-0 in the season after their first game against Reading and then Lexington. Red Devil baseball went to Lexington where they won a close game of 5-4. However, they started off the year with 11-6 loss to Reading.
Rahanas Park was busy last spring. How are the tennis teams doing?
This year, the girls are 1-3 with a win against Stoneham and their losses to Reading, Winchester, and Lexington. The Red Devil boys are 2-2 to start off the year as they have wins against Reading, Malden Catholic, and losses to Winchester and Lexington.
Have the track teams been doing well?
I'm glad you asked, Daniel, because both of the track teams have started the year off with the Stoneham Spartans. Can you guess the outcome, Dan?
We won?
We did indeed, kiddo. Both teams defeated the Spartans and started off the year 1-0.
And I heard that the athletic program has 2 new sports?
Yes, indeed. First, there is the co-ed unified basketball team, who begins the season on April 13th in Stoneham. And then there is boys volleyball, which I'm actually a part of. And Robert Paris actually came to practice recently and has this look.
A new athletic program is in the spring lineup this year at Burlington High School. Boys volleyball. With the season start date of April 12th, the Red Devils are underway with their practices at the Vanilla Gym.
I got started about 6 months ago when the athletic director asked me to help coach out the team. He said he was interested in starting a new program here in Burlington. It's new for the league that they're in, and he knows that I played volleyball for quite a long time and asked me to join in and see if I could help out.
As many of the athletes are new to this sport, the players are taught the basics on the court.
Sportsmanship. We've seen a lot of that lately around the area and lack thereof. And so we're really trying to instill that in these athletes as they get started. Many of them have played sports before, but not volleyball. And so for that, we're also trying to instill the basics, the fundamentals. As a brand new program without a sort of feeder system to it, we're really trying to give these guys the basic skills in order to become better athletes, better people, and then better volleyball players eventually.
A couple of the athletes had a chat with B News Sports about how they are enjoying their time on the team so far.
I'm just looking forward to playing volleyball, man. It's just a great group of guys, man. You can't ask for a better team. And just see what we got, you know?
The first day we were learning about hitting. I'm kind of having a little hard time trying to get the run up, but I'll get the hang of it, I think. And we're doing passing, blocks. It's all the great stuff. Running over the basics right now, though. But that's how you get a good team.
The Red Devils can hardly wait to start the season in Methuen.
Well, it's going to be very exciting. We're really excited about the whole thing. I can tell you that there'll be a lot of butterflies, brand new sport here at Burlington, and it should be a terrific day. I know there's a lot of excitement around it. I think it'll be a learning experience. A lot of these teams we're going to play, whether it's a scrimmage or a full game or a varsity, they will have been playing for a while. So we're looking to join in and learn what we can. Part of that is learning to be competitive, and we're looking to do that.
From the Vanilla Gymnasium at Burlington High School, I'm Robert Paris for B News Sports.
Very nice. I'm assuming practices have been going well.
Absolutely, Dan. And our first game is in Methuen on April 12th.
Awesome. Well, thanks for the update, Anthony, and good luck to you and the boys volleyball team in Methuen. Now, it's time to have some fun. Resident quizmaster Chris Clarity will be choosing a word for us, and we'll try to guess it in our own BHS TV version of Worldle. Okay, guys, what word are we starting off with?
Cheap.
I don't like that.
I tend to start with the word first, and it usually works out.
I start with cheap because it has E and A in it.
We need a rock, paper, scissors.
And
Well, I start with snake, because it has an S.
Do we want a rock, paper, scissors for who
I
starts?
think we need a rock, paper, scissors.
That was so... Okay, again.
Double paper.
Okay, well, so now you free.
So then it's just...
Wait.
So it's her.
Well then, no, you cut her and then I beat you.
I feel like you need to redo this.
Alright.
Cheap.
Our first word is cheap. You hear that, Chris?
CHEAP, Chris, if you can't figure it out.
I think we heard screaming from the studio. From the controller.
Press enter.
6 letters, it doesn't fit.
Wait, why is it 6
Six
letters?
letters.
6 letters, Chris.
This isn't a Wordle.
Add an S at the end of it. Cheaps.
Yeah, cheaps.
Could be an
Okay.
S on the
So it is.
end.
Could be plural.
Dan is in the way of the keyboard, so I can't really see it.
Is this BHS TV themed?
It says BCAT Wordle, Dan, so it has to do with BCAT.
Movies. Movies. I feel like there's an E, there's an S.
Yeah, movies.
No,
Movies.
That's fair.
Movies.
Yeah.
Oh. What is, it's not.
Something EVI. Something EVI, something.
Chris, can you zoom in a bit?
Let's get...
That,
Guys, we have paper.
that's true. We do have
We can
paper.
write down words or something.
We only have one utensil.
Not true for your sass.
VE. It's wait. What is that? I can't see. My eyes are blind.
R? Is it
VI blank S.
Yeah. Pen. So it is currently blank blank V I blank S, and E is one of them.
The E has to go there. Why would it start with E?
Okay.
Rivets.
Yeah, it's
BCAT themed.
No, you said it's
A
not.
rivet?
Rivets.
Rivets? Wait,
It is
I.
themed. It is
Rivets?
themed.
Chris just said it's BCAT themed.
Oh, it's BCAT themed.
Teleprompters.
Oh, devils.
Ah.
Devils.
Oh.
That-
Devils. DEVILS.
Hey!
That was not the 10 minutes that we expected.
Yeah.
Great job, guys.
Well, that was quite a Wordle, guys. Finally, we'll end off today's show with some Mad Libs wacky hijinks presented by our very own Dan Nguyen, featuring Chris Flaherty.
I'll be honest, I haven't had a good day today, and I'm gonna sit here and I'm just gonna vent, and you are gonna listen, okay? First of all, I woke up with this disgusting pain in my hand. And honestly, that's just the tip of the iceberg, folks. Like, my harmonica salesman, I sell harmonicas. He was my sales rep. Yeah, he was late to our morning meeting. I mean, like, let's talk about unprofessionalism. Like, the meeting was at 10 a.m. Like, where was he? Anyway, yeah, so strike 1 and 2 for this day. And then we had to go to another appointment, and like, we got stuck in traffic for 6 hours. Like, what are we doing here? Honestly, I'm beyond frustrated already, and it's not even noon yet. Anyway, I'm stuck in traffic for 6 hours, and this made me succulent, whatever that means, for my meeting at Market Basket, you know, with Mr. Market Basket. What's that guy's name? RDT. Yeah, we were trying to sell harmonicas in Market Basket, and talk about horrible first impressions. We're late. Honestly, I need a new harmonica salesman. If you want to sell harmonicas, just call this number below and we'll talk. The situation is benign. We're talking with RDT, and all of a sudden, like, the situation like gets all like chairs. Now, what that means is like it went off the rails. It's a reference to a sketch about sentient chairs that the high school club did years ago. You should look it up. It's wild. But yeah, the whole situation went chairs up, and he was just like throwing and swagging himself all around. I was scared. I didn't know what was going on. It was freaking me out. I was baited away to the telephone to make a call for someone. I don't know who, but I don't know. And then all of a sudden my phone exploded, and I have mercury in my eyes, in my ears. I was like panicking because like that's not good. I don't know, but could this day like get any more graceful? That's sarcasm, I think. And then my harmonica salesman, after he's like eated his feelings, he just like, he farts right in front of me. What am I supposed to do with that? I don't know. I need a new harmonica salesman. This relationship has just gone way downhill. I don't know what to do anymore, folks. I just don't.
That's all we have for you tonight. Thank you to everyone that has helped us out with this episode, everyone that has made segments, everyone that came on to interview, and of course, all the student and adult crew here at BCAT. We hope you enjoyed our return of Speak of the Devils, and we will see you all again next time.
Bye-bye!